what I tell Crawford, wow, you're losing your opportunity. You came, you conquered, and now what? Don't let your flame, don't let your flame just go away. You're on top of the world, but start thinking like a fighter again. Don't think like a businessman. Think like a fighter. Get back in the ring. Do what you do best. Fight the best. Yes, you will beat everybody, but you must get back in that ring. Trust me. I've been there. I've done that. Get back in the ring.
You know, one thing I gotta say about Oscar got a mind for boxing. Oscar's one of the only people I see, when he talks boxing, you can still see that spark in his eye. You can tell that he truly still loves the sport. You can tell that he misses it. He misses his time in the ring. And most importantly, regardless of what people want to say about Oscar, Oscar has been truthful at times when most people wouldn't. Oscar has given a lot of people sound advice. And Oscar is respected. Regardless of pantyhose and cocaine use, nobody questions Oscar's heart, what he did into the ring, and what he gave to boxing. That's one thing everybody can agree about Oscar. If you do talk about him, it'll be about the pictures you've seen or the emails you read or something like that. But as far as his career, nobody says nothing about him. And what he's saying about Terrence Crawford, it's true. I've always said this. If you've been around long enough, you've been around long enough to hear me say it. Errol Spence does not tell me, or him fighting or beating Errol Spence does not tell me how good Terrence Crawford is. That is not his ceiling. That is not his pinnacle. I've always said that Errol Spence was basic. He wasn't going to be hard to beat. You know, Errol Spence got caught up in the hype and stopped expanding his craft. I think Errol Spence could be a lot better if he stayed focused and stayed out of the nightlife and all that other stuff. You would see a different Errol Spence. But when Oscar says, you got the world in your hands and you're missing the opportunity and you need to just get in there and fight, he's right. Crawford has a lot more to give, and Crawford has some more to do and even some more to prove, because Errol Spence wasn't it. I always said I wanted to see him tested at the highest pinnacle. I don't know if we'll see that in his career. That's something that I also said. But at the same time, you got to understand something about Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford never expected to be where he's at right now. He's here because people doubted his ability and what he could do. When they set him up to fight Gamboa, when he was signed with Bob Arum, that was them throwing Crawford to the wolves. Crawford was supposed to lose that fight. Okay? They counted Crawford to lose. But once again, Crawford came out on top, proving he is a sheer talent. Now, what I disagree about Oscar on is saying don't be a businessman. No, do be a businessman. But understand you are the fighter first. That's when you build a team around you that can handle your business to a certain degree where you can just focus on fighting. Crawford doesn't necessarily have to be the man. He has enough people around him. He has enough friends in high places to give him good advice and to steer him correctly. But he must always think like a fighter. But at the same time, understand that the business part is also necessary. Just don't be ignorant or lazy in every area. Because when I look at Oscar De La Hoya, I look at somebody who really just wanted to be a fighter. I think he was pushed into the business position due to the fact maybe he wanted more control over his career. He could have a good brand, and he knew that he couldn't box forever. But to me, if Oscar still could get into the ring and box with the best of them, he would. So to me, he was forced in the business position. It's not really where he wants to be. That's why I say when he speaks about boxing, You can see he's still got that spark in his eye. You can see that he's still got that love. And he's been truthful about fighters that he's even been signed, that has been signed to him. Most people will say it's hating, but one thing he knows about Oscar is he'll do that to anybody. And when he does speak, he often tells the truth regarding when it comes to just boxers. Now, one thing Terrence Crawford said, he's saying that the game will never change unless the boxers can come to the table and stop depending on the promoters. Now, that's one thing Crawford is also right about. Because truthfully, what holds up these boxing matches, it's not really the boxers, it's the promoters. You guys are the one that keeps us from the fights that we want to see, because they're looking to line their pockets for years on down, and they can't let you stomp out their best revenue stream. So just as courageous as fighters have to be with taking fights and getting in the ring, their promoters should be the same way. That's why it's important to sign somebody and to get with a promoter who actually believes in your skill, not just in a way that they can market you to seem like you're better than what you are. That's why Floyd was able to gamble with his career so many times. This is the problem that PBC has. They got a lot of people feeling like they Floyd, but none of them are really Floyd. None of them have his work ethic. None of them have his skill. None of them have his selling ability. So it was easy to gamble with Floyd because Floyd was a real, genuine talent. I think we should go back to focusing on real, genuine talent. Or maybe it doesn't exist at the same capacity as it did before. Hence why there's only a few people in boxing that you know will mix it up with anybody. You know, Joshua, Anui, Usyk, you know, people like that. People that you know will fight anybody. That's why the pool is so small. So maybe it's just a reflection of the times, but I believe you should be a fighter and a businessman. But I don't think the business should overweigh you being a fighter, because it's something about that instinct of a fighter. It's something when you can release and let go and not have to worry about the business part. You can truly focus on your craft. That's something that Floyd was able to do. Floyd always talked about, yeah, I'm good, but I'm not just good because I'm talented. I'm good because I got a great team around you. And Crawford seems to have a great team around him. So in this instance, I agree with Oscar De La Hoya, and what he's saying is true. But to be totally left ignorant or left the business side to be up to other people is why we almost didn't get the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. Keep in mind, that was two fighters that made that fight, not two promoters. So while Oscar De La Hoya is right in a sense, he's also wrong in another sense. But I would love to see Crawford climb and do a lot more. He's a generational talent. And that part that Oscar speaks about is true. Anyways, that's my thoughts on this. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Wayne, I'm out. Also, if you haven't checked out the Rising Glove series, like I say, you're missing one of the jewels in the gem on this channel. I will leave the link in the description box to Hoff 1 and Hoff 2. Go ahead and check them out and tell me how you like it.